So many screens. I think it's this one. That's it. There we go. So, I want to have a look, because actually it was meant to be in a game today, and the game unfortunately had to be cancelled because of some player being unwell. So instead I thought, oh, you know, there's something else that's outstanding from Free League, and that's the Foundry codes for the Walking Dead universe. And I checked on Pledgemanager, and there they were. So I quickly downloaded them. Actually, I haven't downloaded them yet. I just entered the code, and I'm going to download them now and install them now and have a look. And it's completely unrehearsed. That's just impromptu because I've got some time. So you can be with me as I do this. First thing we're going to do is we need to install the system. So we go here, we say install a new system, and we see whether we can find the Walking Dead. There it is. Install it. This is running on my local Raspberry Pi here. It's a very, very high-powered machine. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the add-on module that comes with it. There should be the core one, and there should be the starter set. So the walking... Oh no, I need to install... Starter set. Install. Core rule set. Install. So Dave Rogers made these systems. Ogress, Dr. Ogress, he calls himself on this one. So it's downloading in the background. Racing up, as you can see. The starter set seems to be slower than the core book. Interesting. Okay, so look. Now, I have demonstrated this before on Foundry, however, that was a hack of an alien system, so this is now the official one. No more hacks required, hopefully. Close this off, and then we create a new world. And we're going to call it TWD, why not? Game system is The Walking Dead. There we go. Create world. Oh, already exists in that. Right, must be my hacked world. So, The Walking Dead official. How about that? I'm sure I haven't used that name before. So, The Walking Dead. There we go. We're now going to play. Now, there's no module installed at all. This is just completely fresh. I haven't done anything else with it. So we get the normal welcome here from Foundry, which I don't need. Then we go to Manage Modules, and we enable these modules. Now, I'm sure there will be some dice on ice and so on, but let's just install these two first and see what happens. Save module settings. Reload. And there we go, we've got the welcome. As usual these days, you have to, they come as adventures and then you import them. So it only came up with a starter set so far, not the core set. Interesting. Let me just check that I didn't misclick something. No, they're both there, but it didn't actually offer me an importer for the core rule set. Okay, have I got it in Compendium? Yeah, they are here. There's no content, so that doesn't quite work yet. That's a bit of a bummer. But the starter rules seem to have imported. So what's in the starter rules? I have a few maps, you can see that at the top. Scenes. So I've got Evergreen, Ravenhill, Southwest Virginia, the Tent Under the Ridge, and the Walking Dead starter set. That's the welcome page. Game paused with a hand, with a red hand, okay, not circulating anything. So that's that. Now the next thing, I'm not quite sure how spoiler-free I'm going to keep this. So, Southwest Virginia should be fine, should not be a problem, but the rest might be a little bit spoilery. So if you want to play this rather than run it, you may just want to be a bit cautious. So we've got a Southwest Virginia map, Blue Ridge Mountains over here, we've got, I'm actually going to go here soon with Old Gods of Appalachia, this area. Yeah. No, this is the actual Virginia, isn't it? Roanoke. And then here, yeah, this is really confusing, but the west of Virginia rather than West Virginia. So the southwest of Virginia. That's what they mean. Oh look, there's Bedford. Yeah, not far from where I live apparently, but wrong country. So that looks quite nice. We have got a few pins up here, and these are the adventure locations. So we have the Tint, we have the Ravenhill, and we have Evergreen. So the Tint, if I double click on it, actually needed to double do it. Yeah, needed to double click. You get the scenario description, you get the insert map, quite nicely presented here with this sort of frayed edge. Looks nice. And you've got the descriptions what you need. I don't see anything embedded, but maybe that's not here yet. So this looks very much like the PDF, I have to say. Then you can go over to Ravenhill. Here we've got an embedded actor. So from there, for example, you could just pull them onto the canvas, onto the map. We've got the descriptions, we've got the pictures, and you can always show these to the players. Yeah, just click on them, and on top you have an option to show players. This is complete vanilla function these days. There's not a module. The wolves are here. Text page. All right, so it's got anchors between the different entries, between the different pages. That's good. And we've got some items that you can find, and then you can just pull across the character sheets. That's also very, very nice if you have a scavenging role. Let's see, role tables seem to be here. Let's have a look at the chat. And they are not posted, however, as items. You would have to journal entry, and then you have to pull the item across from there. Okay, that works. So that's okay. That's presented quite nicely. What else have we got? We have actors. We have NPCs. Oh yeah, it's got a good few. Not everyone has a default artwork. So the other ones just have a red fleshy skull on them. Right. That's the character sheet. We're going to have a look at that with a PC though. The PCs, we've got the pre-gens, and none of them have... Oh, that's interesting. No artwork for them at all. I can't remember, to be honest, whether they actually have them in the PDF. Probably not, because you can always have a choice between two male or female versions. Or I'm sure you can play them non-binary. Makes no difference. For this game, at least. So we've got a typical layout. Let's have a look at the character sheet. Let's see whether I can just zoom in a bit with the browser zoom. It's a bit easier to see, isn't it? So we have... it looks very much layout-wise like the normal character sheet. We've got the attributes down the middle here, and then we've got the skills that are associated underneath it. This is very much also like Blade Runner. We've got the gear down here. I'm sure I can pull gear onto the character sheet. Let's see. Weapons, close combat, baseball bat. Oh, interesting. This might have ended up in the inventory. Yeah, here, and I haven't equipped it yet. So we've got this sort of setup where you have the inventory, and then whatever you equip or store here, yeah, that will basically make it available on the general tab. Yeah, that's it. To roll, you click on the icon. Yeah, that's very much like you usually have, and you can push from here. Push successes. Yeah, you can see that DS and DZ is the stress level die. So you can actually learn the roll commands that you can use for the chat as well. You can learn the abbreviations. Then we've got here, what have we got here? No vehicle, talents, seen it all. So as usual, I guess you can extend it, expand it, but yeah. Or you can post it to the chat if you want to remind your GM or your fellow players what that is about. That's nice. And you've got a room for your notes, including a little secret. Don't look too closely if you are not going to run this, but instead playing this. We don't have an NPC anchor, but we have this Matt Matthews, your only friend. Right. Short description. Actually, that description field could be slightly longer. Because that's 3 lines. 3 lines is not a lot, is it? We also have a extra line break in here that we could get rid of. But yeah, 3 lines. I guess that could be a bit bigger. Issues, once you start issues, you can add issues, extra issues, I'm sure. Yeah, you can extra. Yeah, that's good. So that's the character sheet. The basic one at least, without actually exploring all the nooks and crannies, like fighting. Which will be for another day. You have got room for your critical injuries, you've got your health here, you've got your stress here. All very straightforward and looks decent. I quite like the graphic style. It reminds me a little bit of Tales from the Flood. So, then we have the mappings, we've got table results, we have the starter set rendered here, and this is actually quite nice since Foundry 11. Fantasy Grounds, actually, this was something where Fantasy Grounds was ahead in the way you could structure books, but Foundry has now caught up with that. Safety tools, this is exactly the content from the book. Gear explains it all, and all the items are actually linked here, that's useful. So you don't actually have to necessarily find them. There's some good modules for that. A quick insert is really good for that sort of stuff. The table here, which is not a roll table, doesn't need to be. The explanations. Yeah. And running the game. Now, I actually personally don't like reading the whole rules like this, but if you are looking for a quick rules reference while you're playing, just saying, actually, how does that work again? Damage and healing? All right. It's really useful to have. So if I did it myself, I don't have to clearly because I've got this module downloaded. If I did this myself, if I set it up myself, this sort of rule set I definitely would import anyway. So that's good to have. So what else do we have here? We've got the welcome screen. Always read this because there might be some very, very useful cover in here. So what's in here? All the permission default to GM only. Yeah. Sharing art with your players. It explains how you do it and where you can actually find it as well for your own use. Special dice, how they're going to work. Double high and double low. And with the abbreviations, again, very useful to find. You can use the included macros. Now let's have a look. Macros. We have a D6, D6, yeah. The 4 different types of rolls we've got here as macros, which you can just pull onto the toolbar from here. Of course, they all have the same icon, which I probably would change because otherwise you always have to mouse over to find out what they are. So, it's essentially rolling with advantage or disadvantage. Dice are nice is recommended. And support, where to find it. Yeah, David Rogers. Good. So that's that bit. Was there something else in here? There's the Wolf's Den, which is a description of that place. So it's like an adventure site, which features in the first and the starter set adventure. But yeah. Don't know where that... Oh yeah, the Wolf's Den is the scenario, of course. Survival scenario. That's the whole name. So that's it. Roll tables. What have we got? We've got scavenging. There's an N missing there, so typo. We have messing up in combat. So the messing up tables, we've got overwhelmed, scavenging. This is specifically to Ravenhill. The normal walker attack, gore, and walker past. So if I wanted to roll this, there's only 4 entries. 5 entries. 1, 2, 3. I can't count. It's 6. It's a D6. Is that enough? Walker past 6 of them? I probably would want to extend this eventually. For the first adventure it might be fine, but beyond that, you might want to say there's more variety here, but easily added. Yeah, you can just add a result to this. Shouldn't be an issue. So, have no cards. I can't remember. Does this game use card initiative? I honestly can't remember because I haven't got my hard copy yet. But that's missing. Or it's not there. Doesn't mean it's missing necessarily. And there's no soundtrack. I guess that wasn't meant to be. Now the core rules, I don't know why they actually haven't installed. There's nothing in it. So let me just refresh this. Go back to setup. And I might just take that module out and reinstall it. There. Oh, typing with the left is awkward. Just with the left. So, which one is the starter set? Starter set. Another one. Uninstall. And then reinstall it. Power rule set. Install. It's doing this thing in the background. The music we're listening to is Dark Fantasy Studios, by the way. Some really, really good music he's making. Nicolas Judy is called. And you can find him on the internet, including on YouTube if you want to listen to some music. Very varied and definitely worth checking out. So, let's try this again. Game Worlds. Hop in the game. And then in here, music might actually be a bit loud. I just realized. Let's re-enable this. Module. And while we're at it... Oh, it's still enabled. I thought it unenabled. Let's take that out and back in. And I use my usual ones, so let's see if there's any errors with them. So I usually use things like backgroundless pins. I use... Oh, I forgot it. Scene enhancement doesn't work as well anymore. That is so nice. FX Master. Some of the stuff is more situational. I don't use it for everything I play. Narrator tools, ownership viewer, pin cushion, quick insert, definitely. This remote highlight UI is really cool. If you're playing with new players, you can actually say, oh, press this button, and it will actually appear on their screen which button they need to press. It's very useful. Yeah, I think that'll do. Save module settings. And we'll see what happens. So I now have to re-enable this Walking Dead core, and I see whether the import screen will pop up now, because it didn't earlier. No import screen pops up. And if I look in here, core rules, it's still empty. So currently there's something going wrong with the core module. Bit of a shame. So, but I'm sure that can be fixed. He's very good at fixing stuff. Let's see a couple of roles with the dice are nice enabled. We'll have to configure them first. No, they're already there. There we go. They look pretty. I like those dice. Yeah, look at that. How successful can you be? 3 rolls. Every time a success. Very good. The dice like me. Ha, not this time, so I can push. So you get the stress die, and that's a red one. Okay. Well, good. As I said, I haven't actually played with this at all so far. So I think, for a first look, I'll leave it at that and see what you think. If you have any questions, let me know. If you've got some questions right away, or later on YouTube, yeah, just pop them in. If you're on my Discord, feel free to ask on there. I'm very happy to dive into this a bit further. It looks pretty sweet. It really reminds me, graphic style, like the map reminds me of the Twilight, hello Kai, Twilight 2K, 4th edition, but the rest of the graphic style looks a little bit, the colors especially, like Tales from the Flood. But yeah, this is the first look at this system. Kai, I don't know, you probably just came in, but missed the whole thing because I'm just going to finish now. But yeah, this is The Walking Dead. Freshly arrived on Foundry. And I wish I could show you more about the core rule system, but that is just not working right now. There's nothing there. So I need to get in touch with them, with the dev. Right, chaps. I'll see you around and tune back in. See you soon. That's a good question. Now you just caught me with a question. Am I planning a campaign? Now, I had planned a campaign. I had planned when the PDFs came out first to say, you know what, I would actually like to play a little bit and just give it a go. And then I thought, actually I would like to play first before I run it. And there were 2 games I was signed up for, and both of them were cancelled. So I never got to it. And then I sort of lost momentum with it a little bit. I read the rules a few times. I set it up and I thought, okay, is this actually going to work for us as a game for my normal group, or would I have to just put out a one shot on Discord or something like that? And basically got distracted away from it. I was really hot at the time to want to do it, but I'm not quite sure when I'm going to get around to it, because right now there's Hexen I want to run very soon, 2nd edition. That Kai might be something we need to talk about. And there's Old Gods of Appalachia I'm running. There's a couple of con games I'm running. So maybe in a little while, maybe around Christmas or maybe January sometime, I would like to get it to the table. But by that time, hopefully, I'll actually have my books, my physical books, and I always like that. Is actually the full modules that are out now. I say so. The starter set works. The core rule module, you can get the code of your Pledgemanager if you have backed it. But they're not out for general release yet, so you can't just go to the store and buy them. It's currently for Kickstarter backers. However, I reckon before Christmas you'll have this on the normal marketplace. I'm pretty sure you will. And yeah, my books should be on their way soon, in about a week or 2. Yeah, cool stuff. Any other questions? Seeing as I woke you up now and you're asking questions. Because I love actually having some people watching. It always makes it much more companionable. No other questions? Oh well, if you can think of them, let me know. Have you guys played this yet? I've got a question for you. Just looking at this map, you can just see that the Americans don't actually invent their own names often, do they? They just steal stuff. Gretna Green, that's in Scotland. Scotland. Chatham is in England. There's one, Roanoke, but I think they actually stole that from another language. Bedford is just around the corner. Buchanan is up in Scotland, or a Scottish name. Not so sure about Lynchburg. Lynchburg? Glasgow. Look, there's Glasgow up there. I assure you the real Glasgow is not there. Real Glasgow is much bigger than that. Yeah, you don't get an email for the modules, Kai. There was an announcement on the Kickstarter saying, here are the final PDFs and here's the shipping update, and the modules will be available via Pledgemanager. So what you need to do is log into your Pledgemanager. On the bottom right of your receipt for this, you will then see Claim My Codes. Click on that, you'll get displayed the Foundry codes. Enter them on the Foundry website so that they're registered against the account, and then the module should unlock for you. Yeah, so give that a go. They didn't like it. Yeah, the Horde combat put me off a little bit, and the Haven system. But I have somebody I play with regularly for my Conan game, which we are hopefully going to carry on Thursday night. And he loved this. He played it with high school kids. And they absolutely loved it. And he said it was fine. Once you got it to the table, it's fine. It's not as bad as it seems. So it's a bit like Cypher for me. When I first read the Cypher system, I just thought, why do they make it so complicated? People always keep telling me it's so easy. But I hope once you get it to the table, it actually doesn't feel so complicated. It's just that they try to invent lots of new terms for everything. But anyway. Yeah, good luck with that, Jaguar. with your new group. I hope that they take to it. And I think it's actually, you need to get away from thinking this is a zombie combat game. Yeah, it's all about the relationships. There's a good question. Will I get the electric state? Hang on a second. No, I haven't actually got it here. I've got it the other one, the labyrinth here. Electric state. The storybook is great. The artwork is great. And it feels like it might go the way of Tales from the Loop a bit, but a bit more serious. So a bit like Tales from the Loop, and then Things from the Flood, and then this next step of seriousness, would be Electric State. So I think I'm going to have a look at it. I probably can't resist anyway, just because the art is great. And there might be some momentum behind it because it's a new license, because there's going to be a TV series about it, apparently. Which doesn't necessarily mean it makes it, it's a good game, of course. But I might get it. It's not top of my list, and my new job basically means I don't get any money anymore. So I might have to be a bit more cautious and just blindly backing everything everywhere. But yeah. So I've got so many more things though. Yeah, that have just come out from Free League and finalized this and that and the other, like the new Blade Runner. I want to play that new Blade Runner case file, which I've got as PDF now. Would be good to do that, maybe even with the old group again. I would like to play, I'm looking at my bookcase up there. The One Ring a bit more. There's so many things that are coming out right now. Dragonbane, of course. Going to run Dragonbane soon again. So yeah, looking forward to that. At a con game, so let's see how that goes. 3 hours. Yeah, and I'm also going to run Vaesen again soon. Looking at a marketplace adventure Free League workshop on drive-thru, which I bought with some of the proceeds of my translations on there. And scenario is not the best. I will have to rewrite it a bit. But yeah, there's definitely a nice story in there. It's set in Scotland, so that's going to be fun. Okay, but I feel like I'm just shooting the breeze. If you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to leave now and see whether I can prepare a little bit more for Conan on Thursday. So take care, everybody. If you think of any other questions, you know where to find me on YouTube. Put them in the comment once this video is up there. Shouldn't take long. I'll see you soon. Ta-ta for now.